From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
The Dow Jones falls another 800 points today for June 16, 2022, after the Federal Reserve did exactly what we expected it to do yesterday: raise interest rates 3/4 of a basis point. So why is Wall Street tanking again another day, now down 800 points and falling dramatically? More layoffs being announced, more bankruptcies being announced, and more corporate earnings stalling across the board. Bad economic times are bringing us from phase one right now, as I call it, to phase two in September. And as the economy slowly shrinks to a stall, you need to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. I found it for you, and thank goodness. The great news is that as a member of LALATE, as a Purple Power member of this community, you can prepare for the downward spiral of this economy coming in September, now for June 16. Because by September, this economy will be much worse. Step one, become a member. Step two, get that incredible newsletter. And step three, stay to the second half of this video as we go over those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. We're going to go over why a new report today says the recession may land this year. What? Oh boy, here we go. We'll be going over the latest comments just minutes ago by a big financial analyst who calls it silliness. What is silly? I'll go over his great comments. I love them in today's recording. We'll go over the price of gasoline and why no solution for gasoline is really the inherent problem for this economy. No inherent solution for gasoline is going to cause a lot of problems, but we do have great news. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over not only that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state that you're going to get as a member, but also why the newsletter has a new edition, and it's for the raising up of your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, VARB, and more. We have the latest details on Wall Street, the latest details on Middle America, the latest details on your money. In this 1 hour special broadcast for Afternoons LALATE, we're going to go over the current state of this economy today, where it's going, and where your money is today. You need to get lots of that money in today's recording to prepare for September. It's a big afternoon, and the details start right now for June 16th, 2022, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's Afternoons. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is June 16, 2022, for the shores of Santa Monica, California. Breaking news just minutes ago as the labor numbers were released. And what did it do about unemployment? Not good. As expected, those labor numbers released Thursday, and it shows more layoffs, and those layoffs could be coming to your town as well. In this broadcast, we got a lot to go over. We're going to go over where the economy is right now, where it's going, and in the second half, stay with me, because we're going to get that forced stimulus check now in every U.S. state. I got it for you. I found it for you, and you're going to get it by step one, subscribing to this channel. Step two, becoming a member. Step three, getting that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, and also staying to the second half of this video. The great and confusing news is that there's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, and that you got time to get it. Oh boy. I'm calling it 3 phases. This phase right now, from here to September, is going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal because the economy is reversing course very dramatically, sort of like a ship in the storm, turning around and going the other direction. And the reversal from just February this year to right now is just a start. It's going to be a lot worse by September, which is when we start phase two. Phase two is going to look as bad as the lockdown of March 2020. And then we're going to have phase three, the recession, starting in early next year. Now, let me go over all the data points in just a second, but first let's talk with some breaking news. The breaking news is that jobless claims came in really high today. I had told you all this week, all last weekend, that I was looking for the new jobless claims numbers coming in this week at about 230,000. Remember that number? I said about 5,000 times on this channel this last week. I was looking for Thursday's number to come in at $230,000 new jobless claims. What did the number come in at? 229,000 new jobless claims. Folks, I'm less than 1,000 points, less than 1,000 people off from exactly the number. Wall Street was looking at 217,000. I said 230, came in at 229. This is why you gotta stay with this channel. This is why you gotta stay with this channel, because I not only get the numbers right, I get it literally spot on. I said that inflation later this year is going to come in at about 4%. And at the time, I was the only one saying that. Now we have gone from this Congressional Budget Office and the Department of Labor saying 3.5% to now several organizations saying it's going to be 3.9. I'm going to go over more about this down in a second, but this labor number is horrid. It's horrid because it basically says people are getting laid off left and right. The importance of knowing where this economy is right now is very important because a week ago, the number one financial news channel in America was talking with interviews from people who said no one's being laid off. I said, people are being laid off. What do you mean no one's being laid off? People are being laid off. Now today, a week later, their story is how to prepare if you're laid off. The way you're prepared to be laid off is you watch this channel 2 weeks ago when I said you're potentially going to get laid off. The unemployment claims for the week before were also revised upwards. Now, the total number of continuing unemployment claims was about the same, 1.3 million of people still unemployed week to week. A new report released minutes ago from Destination Wealth Manager Michael Yasham says he believes the recession is going to land in the third quarter of this year. Ouch. Now let's go back to February of this year. In February of this year, again, I was the only one saying we're going to recession. People looked at me crazy. I remember meeting with someone personally, face to face. I said, we're going to recession next year. The person stared at me and said, did you just say recession? I said, yeah, recession. He said, you're the only one talking about this. I know. I said, get ready for next year. Well, now the reports basically all say recession, but here's what's getting interesting. Some people are trying to push the recession into the third quarter this year. It's not technically going to be a recession by the third quarter this year. It can't. Why? Because you need 2 consecutive downward GDP quarters to be a quarter of recession. And we don't have that type of fall just yet. Middle America thinks that we are in recession today, says a new poll released last Friday. I worry about that poll. Why? Because that means that Middle America believes this is as bad as it's going to get. It's not as bad as it's get. This is what I call phase one. Phase one is when we saw really good times of February and then we switched to really bad times of September. And why it's so important for you to get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state today, June 16th. I don't mean July 17th. I don't mean August 17th. I mean today, is because by September, millions of Americans are going to be struggling and looking left and right. Remember the first days of the pandemic of March 2020. You were put on lockdown. You were told, go on lockdown. And people looked left and right saying, my goodness, I need money right now. I'm losing my home, my business. I'm being laid off. Well, that's going to happen in September. The only difference is this time around, you have a warning. I'm telling you it's happening in September. So unlike 2020, where you had no pre-warning that was going to come, you can prepare right now and get those checks across the board. Stay with me in the second half of this video, but if you've not joined this channel, do it right now. Under the video, hit the join button and become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, and get those checks. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over how to get those big checks. You got to get them accordingly and very quickly. Another new report released minutes ago, and I don't like this report. It shows that these are people not watching this channel somewhere else, and I'm just worried that this is happening, and I'm bringing it up because I want it not to be you, obviously, because you're informed and educated. A new report says that seniors are not preparing for the downward spiral of this economy, and they're using up their savings and they're raising debt. Folks, that's really bad. Credit card debt, you can't start increasing your credit card debt now. Because Jay Powell and the head of the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve members are raising interest rates over consecutive board meetings coming up in the next few months. And so if you start having credit card debt now, you're going to be in a worse situation. Don't do that. I know you're not doing it, but if your friends or neighbors are doing it, tell them watch this channel, come on over. Half of people over the age of 55 has said that they are now increasing debt spending and using their savings. Very, very troubling across the board. Jay Powell, the head of Federal Reserve, and yesterday announced a 3/4 basis point increase for your interest rates. Now, this, according to me and J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, believe that this is the first of many massive spikes. Both them and I agree upon the same calculations. I believe that it's not only 3/4 now in June, but 3/4 in July next month at the July FOMC meeting, and then half in September. There is no August meeting. Half in October and quarter in November. Folks, you got to get rid of any flexible interest rate instruments at home right away, right this minute. Switch it to a fixed or just pay it off. Credit card debt, get it paid off. Car loans, get it paid off. Flexible mortgage rates, switch it to fixed, because this is going to be out of control. Imagine those type of interest rate spikes in just 3 months. You got to move very, very quickly. Now, another new report out minutes ago that signals the importance of getting a stimulus check in every U.S. state is inflation. Now, that inflation read came in last Friday, 8.5%. Wall Street was looking for 8.3%. It was the CPI number released last Friday. And it basically said inflation did not go lower, it went higher. The Federal Reserve, in announcing its interest rate spike yesterday, said that while they usually determine their numbers, their movements based upon another benchmark, they relied upon the CPI from last Friday. This is historic. Why? Because everyone saw that CPI. You saw it. Middle America saw it. And the Federal Reserve saw it. And they said, we got to move very quickly. What did they say in their comments late yesterday? Jay Powell said that because inflation is not coming down and because inflation has not even peaked, we needed to come in more aggressively with a 3/4 basis point increase. There you go. When that number came out last Friday, it caused a domino effect. Number one, it caused consumer confidence in America to go to its lowest levels since the start of the pandemic. Number two, it called world economies like Italy, France, and Germany to see massive spikes of inflation and interest rates there as well. And number four, it caused Jay Powell to do what he did. Now, is the price of those items in that CPI coming down? Here is the analysis. Remember, I do 3 things on this channel. I tell you where we are, where we're going, and I get you checks. Here's the analysis. The CPI is composed of 2 numbers, really dominant at the moment. The products you buy at the supermarket, are they going up? Sure, they're going up. But are they plateauing out? They may be plateauing out. And then the price of gasoline, is it plateauing? It is not. So if gasoline is going to continue to go up this month, the CPI this month, released next month, will go up. And if it goes up, Jay Powell's going to be shocked and say, my interest rate spikes didn't work. There you go. What is indication that the first component, the products, are still going up? Minutes ago, Tesla announced that most of its cars are going up substantially in price. This is not a new narrative because I've been reporting this for several days on this channel. They report that, for example, their mid-range vehicle is going to go up nearly $4,000, just one vehicle. They blame it upon raw materials. Now, here's the narrative. Tesla's example of what's going to go on with this economy. They laid off 10% of their workforce, and then they raise the price of the car, which you're not going to buy because now it's $4,000 more. And then suddenly they're going to sell less cars and they have less employees. It's just looking really bad in this phase 1. Corporate bankruptcies are going to pick up. Do you have beautiful hair? Do you look beautiful? Because you are beautiful. Well, it may be less beautiful today because Revlon, the beauty company, has now filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The company expects that it will receive $575 million in debt possession financing from existing lenders. So it's going into bankruptcy. And I believe it's the first of many companies I'm going to record on this channel of going into bankruptcy during phase 1. Meantime, consumer confidence is down dramatically. Buyers are not there, sellers are not selling, and everything from food and beverage, hospitality, auto, airlines, we're going to feature them all tonight on Evenings LA, are all down. Well, what do we know today? A new report says the millennials, who are very conscious about their money, are not spending. They say that 44% of them are delaying purchases of a car, a house, or any type of instrument because they cannot afford the debt of it. A lot of them buy on debt. They don't have the pure cash for it. And also, they're worried about job security. Tech companies are laying off left and right. So don't think the millennials have a secure job, but they do not. And don't think they're going to go pay for an expensive home. They cannot. They can't afford the mortgage rates. That's why mortgage numbers are the lowest levels in 20 years. Let's turn over to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is certainly watching what the Bank of England did minutes ago. It announced its fifth consecutive rate hike in just a few days. And this is going to be a 25 basis point increase. The committee will be particularly alert to indications of more persistent inflationary pressures. Yields continue to go higher in the United States. This is why I want you to get rid of your flexible instruments, flexible interest rate instruments like car loans. Get rid of them. The 30-year Treasury traded to 3.404. That's horrific. And the 30-year Treasury bond to 3.43, the 2-year Treasury note to 3.4 as well. And this is as the Swiss National Bank raised interest rates as well. It just continues to grow across the board. Let me tell you where phase two kicks in. Phase two kicks in September. Phase two is really basically March 2020, the pandemic. The only difference is I love you to death. You love one another. We're part of a core community called the Purple Power Community, where we take our information and we get financial independence. We prepare accordingly before the storm touches on land. And that storm comes in September. That storm comes in September, whatever you call the storm. It's the downward spiral of this economy. And the difference this time around is that you have this month, June, you have July, you have August, but you're not going to wait till August. You're not going to wait till July. You are going to do right today to get the big money in every U.S. state. When the pandemic hit in March of 2020, people ran left and right to get FPUC, PUA, PUC. None of those exist. None of those instruments exist anymore. You know that, but I don't think middle America knows that. When they get laid off, they're going to look for that unemployment assistance. It doesn't exist. The head of Starbucks announced there's big problems in hospitality and food and beverage. There's no one in the restaurants or the bars. And that is going to cause a lot of small business owners to go under. There was one business owner, I can't remember, I think it was Sky News. It was one business owner who literally was crying on air, saying they were going to raise the city was going to raise one of the taxes, and he says I can't afford it anymore. I'm going to lose my business again. Businesses are going under. The reason why people are losing their jobs is not because of corporate America is laying them off. Small businesses. There is no EIDL grant or EIDL loan anymore. You see the narrative? You got to get these forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You got to get them. And in the second half, we're going to go over these incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. I care dramatically for you, and that's why I'm pushing the pedal really hard on this. Whether you call it tough love, whether you say I'm advocating stronger to you, I need you to get this forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to get those forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. But first, before we go over that, I want to go over two breaking news stories. First, I want to go over the situation gasoline. But right before gasoline, I want to go over this quote. I love this quote. You know why I like this quote? The one word in the quote. It's the word silly. The quote comes from Alliance Chief Investment Advisor Mohammed El Orion, who says it's about time we exit this artificial world of predictable mass liquidity, and where everyone gets to do things with zero interest rates, and we do silly things where it's investing in parts of the market we shouldn't be investing in, or investing in the economy in ways that don't make sense. We are exiting that regime, and it's going to be bumpy. I love that word, silly. Silliness is what's going to leave you by the wayside. Not you, but see, people who don't watch this channel. You, since day one of this channel, have surprised me by your ability to absorb information, your intellect, your smarts, your ability to take the information and run with it and do even better. Silly are people who are not watching this channel, and what is going to happen with those silly people? These are people who made silly errors in crypto. They said, don't pay me in dollars, pay me in crypto for my salary. Now they have no money because that crypto is now worthless. These are people who watched YouTube channels that said Doge is going to go to $1. Now Doge is at 6 cents or something like that. These are people who said, let's buy a home because everyone's buying a home in 2021. And let's buy a home at the height of the market. And these are even people who bought a home just a few weeks ago. Say, hey, you buy a home right now because you gotta. Mortgage rates are out of control. The housing market's about to burst. And these are the home builders. These are the auto salesmen. These are the airline executives who are all raising prices, like Tesla, raising prices because they don't want to lose less profit and thinking you're going to pay double or triple for the same item you could have bought half the price just in the month of February. And now you don't have the money to pay for it. You don't have the debt to pay for it because the interest rates are too high. And they think they can stick it to you so they can have the same profit level. That's silliness by corporate America. The airlines are going to go under. The car dealerships are going to go under. The builders are going to go under because they're doing silly things. You aren't doing silly things, but people off this channel are. These are people that will jump into a Facebook comment and say, you know what? I hope they stop dragging their feet and send out a forced stimulus check. They sent out a forced stimulus check since March. My viewers have been getting forced stimulus checks of $80,000 since March. Silliness is just waiting around and reading titles of the stories. Just read a title and not learn the detail of the situation. Silliness is just sitting back and saying, I want a $50,000 MSC. Let's give me $85,000 of MSC in my wallet for doing absolutely nothing. And other than that, then there's no money. That's silliness. And those people who are acting silly are going to be left by the wayside, and people they watch that breed them with silliness are going to be left by the wayside. You're not. Why? Because I'm telling you where this economy is, I'm telling you where it's going, and I'm getting you money right now. In February of this year, I was the only American broadcaster in financial news saying we're going into recession next year. In spring of last year, I was the only American broadcaster in financial news saying we're going to have an 8% inflationary rate in December, and it's not going to be transitory, temporary, that Jay Powell has it wrong. In spring of this year, I was the only broadcaster who says that the Federal Reserve is not going to get inflation down to 1 or 2%. It's going to come in at 4%. All those statements have now been confirmed correct. What along the way have I also confirmed daily on a regular basis correct? The price of gasoline going higher, the unemployment number going higher, the layoffs going higher, the corporate turnarounds where airlines, auto, and housing has fallen. I predicted all those correctly. Why? Because I care about you. I need you to know absolutely everything specifically correctly for not today. Today has already happened. I need you to know it for 3 months from now. And that's why LALATE, now the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, is heading to number 2. We have big changes coming in the next 90 days. Tell your friends and family to come on over because as a community, I've prepared you for this downward spiral of this economy that's starting right now going into September. When September hits, people who aren't watching this channel are going to be shocked. I've been telling you that's coming in just a few weeks. Now, here's another part of the analysis I've been telling you for a while, and I'm going to go over it a little bit more in depth right now. It's the gasoline situation. The gasoline situation, now we know, is causing 1, 2, 3 steps on a domino effect. And with no solution in hand, the domino effect is going to continue to roll out. I'm going to say it broadly, and then I'm going to say it specifically. Broadly, there's no solution to get 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day because of the Russian embargo. If we don't have the missing gasoline, then what happens? The consumer price index number, released once a month, will continue to go high because it's dependent upon the price of gasoline going higher. If gasoline goes higher, the CPI goes higher. What happens if the CPI goes higher? You already know it because I said it earlier in this video. If the CPI goes higher, then the Federal Reserve gets spooked and says, wait a second, inflation went higher? Well, we got to raise interest rates. And Jay Powell then once again raises interest rates. Raising interest rates does not get down the price of gasoline. Getting gasoline to replace the missing gasoline is what gets gasoline down, and no one's doing that. As Jay Powell raises those interest rates, then he sends you into recession. As he sends you into recession, you get laid off. As you get laid off, you don't spend more, and then finally inflation goes down, and the gasoline stays high. So this all goes back to the problem that no one has gotten the replacement gasoline. I'm going to tell you the bottom line first, and I'll tell you the detail. The bottom line is for another day, for June 16, 2022, there's still no deal from the Western Allies to get a replacement gasoline. They needed to have this deal done in Halloween of last year. If this continues, every major leader of the Western Allies is going to be out of office by a year from now because they all understood they had to get gasoline replaced. And did they get anything replaced? They did not. They have 5 choices, of which all 5 choices have now been torpedoed. Torpedoed? No, tapatio. No, torpedoed. Say it right, Alex. They have 5 choices, and those 5 choices are Brazil, Venezuela, Iran, OPEC Plus, and Saudi Arabia, which is part of OPEC Plus. Why is there only 5 choices? Because nowhere else, either United States ground or Western allies' soils, can produce 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day for the Western allies. So if you don't get those 5 choices lined up, one of those 5 choices, you don't have gasoline replaced. If you don't have gasoline replaced, CPI goes up. CPI goes up. Federal Reserve says inflation is going higher, which is correct because that's CPI. Raises interest rates, sends you in recession, and we still have higher gasoline. I'm predicting that the price of gasoline is going to go to $10 a gallon at the pump. I'm the only one really saying that for almost a month. But as to the international Brent crude number, a lot of people are saying the same number I'm saying, 185. 185, and that Brent crude determines your domestic number across the board. What is the White House doing on the situation with gasoline? A mess. Joe Biden, nice guy. His team of economic advisors need to be fired, left and right, starting with Brian Deasy all the way up to Ron Klain, chief of staff. Everyone needs to be fired. Why? Because what they're doing on gasoline is ridiculous. You need gasoline to be replaced. You go out and buy the gasoline. I mean, how difficult is this? Honey, we're out of toilet paper. Go buy some. Well, why don't we just appear on Instagram and just trash talk the toilet paper companies? You know, you're horrible, toilet paper companies. You're horrible because I ran out of toilet paper, and I'm going to tell you how horrible you are. Let me make a 10-minute video, and then let me make another video tomorrow. Honey, did you go buy the toilet paper? No, I'm trash talking the executives for the toilet paper company. Does that look ridiculous? It does look ridiculous. Who's doing that? Joseph Biden. He's appearing on broadcast media and trashing ExxonMobil, American oil production companies, saying you're horrible people. Here's the problem. Even if they're wonderful people, they can't get you 3.5 million barrels a day. So why are you trash talking people who don't have the solution for you? It's not like they have the 3.5 million barrels and they aren't giving them to you. They don't have them. You're trash talking the wrong people. So who has the 3.5 million barrels? The 5 countries. And are we doing a deal with them? No. Why aren't we doing a deal with them? I can't explain it. I understand there's human rights violations of the 3.5 million companies, but the White House is literally barking on the wrong tree. It doesn't make any sense. Well, let's go over to Germany, France, and United Kingdom. They're doing the same situation as well. They don't have any situation lined up. So with no situation lined up, it's going to get really bad really quickly. That's why you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over also the breaking news story broke on this channel about 2 days ago. Your benefits are going up a lot, and I'll explain again how they're going up. And I'm also going to feature why they're now discussed in the newsletter, because it's a very great, important, but a little bit complicated story. Your benefits are going up if you're on SSI, SSDI, VA, or more. We're going to go over all the details of that in the second half of this video. When you get those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state, step 1, become a member. Step 2, go into the newsletter and get those big checks. And step 3, stay with me for the second half. It's America's Most Loved show at the midday. And in the second half of this video, we're going to go over also those recessionary pressures coming in January of 2023. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as America's Most Loved show at the midday continues on Afternoons. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m.
home. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now for June 16, 2022 in the big second half of Afternoons at LA. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Hope the week is going well with you. I'll be with you all weekend long. We will have a lot of breaking news this weekend as well, so stay with me all weekend across the board. Have you gotten that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state? Have you become a member? Have you gotten everything lined up? Do it right now. We're going to go over all that starting right now in the big second half. I love my viewers because my viewers learn really well. This is a teaching channel. This is a training channel. It's an educational channel as well. And I trained you since day one of this channel to get money when times are good and don't wait for times to be bad. When are times bad? They're not good right now, but they're going to be horrific in September. You don't wait to September to get a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. You get it today. And I don't mean months from now. Yesterday, one member reached out to one of the volunteers, 2-month member, and said, I just started making phone calls. And the volunteer said, why did you wait 2 months? You don't wait 2 weeks. You don't wait 2 days. You certainly don't wait 2 months. Back in the month of March, viewer said, LA, times are sort of good. Can you find me some checks? I don't like that they haven't gotten the Build Back Better Act done. And I found them. I found fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Say it again. If you're in the live chat, let's go back to LA 101. We haven't done that in a while. LA 101, right in the live chat. A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. Write that on the live chat. A fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state. You got to focus on the information. You got to learn the information. So then the next question is, what is a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state? I found a series of checks. I gave them a lettering system, A, B, C, and thereafter. And then I focused on eligibility. And as Kat, a longtime viewer, says, LA, you do eligibility really well. I'm focused on that. I want to make sure that all of you qualify for these checks. And you generally do. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, go get it. Benefits, SSI, SSDI, VA, or more, go get it. Children, not children, go get it. And with that, let's go over all these incredible checks, starting right now with the first check. It's a $6,500 to $12,000 check. Yes, I get big checks. Big checks give financial independence. Small checks do nothing. Within a week, you use it up, and then you say, I need another check. You need big checks, and that's what I've always gotten my viewers this channel. Big $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $200,000 checks. Big checks, and that's what you deserve. Check A is a wonderful $6,500 to $12,000 check. It's a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you are on benefits or not on benefits, go get it. How do you get that check? Step 1, become a member. Become a member on this channel. Go right in the video where it says join. Click the join link and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Parrot, Calcino VIP. Then go into the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and go right down to Check A. At Check A, then it has a link. You're going to click the link and apply because that's the only way you apply for Check A online. You go into the link, it sends you to the nationwide website, then your state, then choose the homeowner's weatherizing grant. You're not done there yet. You're going to get a $15,000 to $80,000 fourth stimulus check, Check B. Yeah, I don't play ground games here. I'm here for big checks, monster checks. Imagine how long $80,000 would cover your bills. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half. That's what I'm here to do, to get you through the financial downturn of this economy. I care for you, and that's why I only want you to have monster checks so that you'll survive now to September and September to January and maybe a little bit longer, but you're going to keep on getting checks. You're not going to get checked today and then not do anything thereafter. We're going to go over that in a second. Check B. It's a $15,000 to $80,000 fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, VA, or RB, go get it. How do you get it? Become a member. Go into that membership newsletter, go down to Check B. Where you see Check B, click the link. It goes into the nationwide website, choose the state, and then pounds. Check C you're also going to get, and Check C is for also my renters and homeowners. It has been around a long time, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's averaging about $2,000 a month over 12 months, and it's huge. It is astronomically wonderful. And viewers have gotten it. It's for rent, utilities, mortgages, this is more. How do you get Check C? You know the routine. Subscribe, become a member, go into the membership newsletter, go down till you find Check C. And when you find Check C, you're not going to apply online. You're going to make phone calls. You're going to pick up the phone and start calling. About 15 phone calls, because that's what viewers have been doing since I first launched Check C in December 2020. It was at the time called Purple, then it became Third Stimulus, and now it's Check C. Here's what people have gotten for the rent. Imagine $30,000 for your rent paid. I bet you want $30,000 checks. Go get it. Utilities, $15,000 for utilities. Mark's brother-in-law. How about SNAP? $25,000 a year over 10 years, $250,000. How about combos? Nisi and Mark and Margaret and Johnny and Lorraine, they all embody what I teach on this channel. Get a check today, get a check tomorrow, get a check the day after. Keep on getting checks. Nisi and all those people and Mark have done all that. Nisi's at $23,000. She keeps on getting checks. He's nearly $50,000. Mark is at $32,000. I even addressed Mark on air at the time. I said, Mark, go do this. He went from $32,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 to $166,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at $105,000, then she went to $120,000. She keeps on getting checks. She's nearly at $130,000 or $140,000. 30 things you need to remember to do. First, subscribe to this channel. Go right in this video, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends and family, come on over. This is the #3 most watched financial news channel in American broadcasting today. Streaming is the platform, but it's competing against the broadcasters on your TV set. We're looking to push into #2. You can do it by telling people, come on over. This is the kid that predicts this economy correctly, time and time again. He puts the research in, he has the education for it, he has the knowledge, and he's predicting where the economy is right on the money time and time again. He's preparing you financially for where the economy is going, so you're ahead of the ball game, telling you what's going to happen with your job or your business or your town or your economy. And then he's getting you the checks. He's doing the analysis and finding you the checks you're not going to see anywhere else. Subscribe, because you don't want to miss a video. The videos don't overlap in content. There is so much breaking news. I wish sometimes this was a cooking show, because you know the cooking shows? They always have a camera up above and the camera looks down at the table. This table is literally this thick of notes just for today. Then hit that little bell at the front of the channel. That bell is the notifications. Make sure that bell is set to all notifications. And then go into the video and join. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Join and become a member. The thousands and more have become members of this channel. They're pouncing it. They're getting the money. You need to get the money right today. And with that, let's go over to 2 other stories breaking today. First, the membership newsletter features a new add-on, and that new add-on is the raise of your benefits. The newsletter features at the 5th stimulus part of the newsletter, lower down, a description of what I'm about to go over with you, which is that your benefits are confirmed to be going up next year. This is SS300. This is happening. Congratulations. Your benefits are going up without the swap of COLA to inflation just yet. Why? I know this is going to be complicated. It's going to be a lot to go over, but I'm going to do it as easy as I can. That's also in the newsletter. COLA is a number that's dependent upon another number, which is dependent upon a third number. I've never really explained this on this channel, but I'm going to do it right now. COLA is a number that's determined by the CPI-W. What is a CPI-W? It's a subsection of the CPI, which we saw last Friday, which you understand. It's inflation number. And as that CPI inflation number goes up, so does the CPI-W. And the CPI-W goes up, then COLA goes up. So what happened? Well, the Social Security Administration chief actuary said that based upon what happened last Friday, I told you a lot of things happened from that CPI number last Friday, he believes that your benchmark of COLA will go up 8% this December. Wow, that is incredible great news. We had always vowed to get that 8%, which would be an SS300. And this is now happening. And now let me tell you the great news about it and why it may even be better than that type of news. He, which is the chief actuary at the Social Security Administration, is running the numbers based upon where we are right now. He may be undervaluing the number, and some people believe he is. I believe he is, and he is all running it off of the current status with the number today. So let me tell you what's going on. The way they come up with this COLA, which is dependent upon the CPI-W, is not from that number now, not from that number in December, but from that number in 3 months, July, August, and September. In July, August, and September, the Social Security looks at that number and says, what is the CPI-W, which determines COLA, in July, August, September? If it's high, then that's the number. If it comes down lower than the year, who cares? Because they're only looking at those 3 months. Now, he, and again, that is Stephen Goss, Social Security Chief Actuary, says that looking at what happened last Friday, he believes that the CPI-W and hence COLA will come in, quote, closer to 8% in July, August, and September. Looking at the same data from Friday, a nonprofit organization called the Senior Citizens League believe the number is going to come in closer to 8.6% in July, August, and September. My analysis prediction is I believe the number is going to come in closer to 8.9%. Why? Because it's July, it's August, and it's September CPI. You and I can do this together. You've learned it throughout this video, this 1 hour video. Let's do it together. Why do I believe it's going to be higher? Let's take it back to the very start of what causes this number to go higher. It's gasoline. Is gasoline higher in the month of June than it was last month? It is. Will gasoline be higher next month in July than it is today? It will be. So the July number next month, which is dependent upon this number, the numbers of gasoline this month will be higher, the CPI-W. Well, that's a no-brainer. What about August? What about September? Well, Jay Powell has the one interest rate spike he announced last week. He'll have a 3/4 basis point increase in July. But you and I know that whatever Jay Powell does, even if it does work, which I don't think it does, I don't think it brings down inflation, has a delay impact on the economy about 30 days out. So his number this week is not going to impact until July. And then his July number will not potentially impact until August, September. So I believe that the gasoline still stays as high as it is now or higher, that the number that the Citizens League is saying 8.6% is more likely, but actually a little bit higher. I believe it's 8.9%. That's the incredible great news. Now, we're not done there yet, but let me stop where we are so far so you're recapped. Based upon the Social Security's executive himself, Stephen Goss, the actuary, he believes your benefits are going to go up 8%. So there you go. That's $300 more per month, lifetime, starting in January, not just 1 month, not just 1 year, but lifetime. I'm saying that we're going to see the numbers in July and August, September, and if they are where I say they are, then that's going to be closer to 9%. That would be more than $350 a month. Yeah, could be $350 more per month, not just 3. And remember, once your benefits go up, they don't go down. You got a raise last December, 5.9%. So this is on top of that raise. Now, can the president swap COLA for inflation in the middle of the year? Tomorrow? Today? This weekend? Yes, he still can. So that would give you an additional lift up right now. And that swapping, and let me explain how that would work. If you swap COLA for inflation, it would be based upon COLA right now, which we know is about 8.5%. So you're not even at 8%, you're at 8.5%. And then if it's still 8% in December, you get that additional lift up. Is there a push underway to get the president to swap it out? Inherently, yes. 2 bodies of legislation, 2 bills were introduced this week. One written by Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren, and another one written by another congressman to swap COLA for inflation. But what is the pure inflation number they want to use? CPI-E. CPI-E, which is really inflation for inflation. CPI-W is sort of inflation, but almost inflation. CPI-E, they want that swap to happen right across the board. Wow, great news. Now, a little complicated it is, but the great other news is that it's now featured in the members newsletter. That members newsletter has this under fifth stimulus towards the bottom. So what are you going to do? You're just going to subscribe to this channel. You're going to become a member. You're going to get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. And then you're going to go in there, apply, call, and get those check C's, and then learn about your benefits. The newsletter is delivered at 7 p.m. That's West Coast Standard Time. If you're East Coast, it's 10 o'clock. If you're Midwest, it's 9. And it's sent via the YouTube alerts, which says new LA post. You go down on the post, and you go down in the alert, and low in the alert says click here and go in the post. You go in the post, and you are ready to rock and roll. As we go into a new week, as we go into a new day, as we go into Evenings LA, what are we looking at tonight? What we're looking at tonight on Evenings LA in prime time is why Wall Street today is doing what they did last time. Last time Jay Powell announced an interest rate spike, that day the Wall Street traded up, and the next day it imploded. Same thing's happening today. Yesterday Wall Street is up. Today it's imploding. What's going on here? I'll be analyzing that situation of why Wall Street is really taking a massive tank today. 800 points down. But I want to end today again with that really great quote because of that one adjective. It's hard to find an adjective that describes what people are who don't watch this channel are doing and what I don't want you to do. And the word is silly. It's silly. Let's go back to that quote from Mohammed El-Ararian, where people are doing silly things, whether it's investing in parts of the market they shouldn't be investing in or investing in the economy in ways that don't make sense. I can use countless examples, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to use examples of what not to do. I'm going to use examples right now of what to do. What to do? Step one. Step one, you remove all the flexible interest rate instruments in the household. So if you have flexible credit card debt, get rid of it, pay it off. If you have a flexible mortgage, switch it to fixed. If you have a car loan, pay it off or switch it to fixed. Get rid of all flexible instruments in the household. Number two, do not believe your job is infallible. Do not believe that you have job security because you may not. And corporate layoffs, company layoffs, low income, middle class, high level paid jobs, everyone is getting laid off. So prepare for yourself what happens if you are going to get laid off before you get laid off. This is brand new today on Afternoons. Prepare accordingly by looking, is there another type of job like yours down the road? And where is it? And how quickly could you get that job? I don't want you to think that you would stick it to that employer and ask for a salary raise or something crazy. I don't want you to think about any of those things. I just want you to know whether you can get that replacement job as quickly as possible. Number three, if you're a senior, please do not do what that report said today. That report said today that seniors are increasing credit card debt. Do not do that. I don't want you to go into credit card debt. Using up their savings. I don't want you to do that either. And then what I also want you to do for all viewers is reduce your spending. Cash is king. Cash is king. If you have stocks or bonds or crypto and they're becoming valued, I'm sorry, but cash is king. Keep items in cash and do not spend crazy. Do not believe that this is February. Presume that this is the apocalypse. Presume that this is a downward spiraling economy, and you already experienced this once before in March of 2020, and I'm telling you, that's what you're going to see in September once again. The only difference is that you are financially prepared for it ahead of time. Finally, do not think that whatever good times you had in a previous lifetime, whether it was a month ago, a year ago, or 2 years ago, can repeat themselves. That's what I call silliness. People who said, well, I got it this way in 2021. This is not 2021. Well, I got it that way in 2022 in January. This is not January 2022. This is what we call a recession. And when a recession comes, people who do silly things, which is saying that the past is still the present, are going to be left by the wayside. Do not do silly things like saying, I made one phone call and I spoke to Georgette at the city hall and she said there's no stimulus check called check A. Why did you ask her for check A? She doesn't know what check A is. Why did you just call one person? And why did you not open the membership newsletter and call the 15 phone calls I said? Moreover, getting one check and stopping is also what I call not appropriate. You need to get every check you can get today and then continue to get checks like Margaret, Johnny, and Lorraine do on a regular basis. You got to get every check you can and as quickly as possible. Finally, personal commentary. I love the mood of the channel the last few days. The mood of this channel is really good. The viewers are really helping each other. You're being very supportive of one each other. You're giving a real comforting notion of what a community is like online. We as a family, as a Purple Power community, are going into tough financial times in a few months. It's just like how it was in March of 2020. And then after that, it's going to be much worse. A recession, something a lot of you have never seen before. It's going to be really bad. And I'm preparing you months ahead of time, telling you how bad it's going to be, getting the situation lined up for you across the board. Your encouragement, your positivity, your spirit, your information, your knowledge, your education, you're on top of the ball, is what's making the difference. It's important we know where the economy is. We're not going to sugarcoat how good or bad the economy is. We're not going to trash talk executives at oil companies. It doesn't help us. We're not going to trash talk politicians. It's not going to help us. We're going to focus on how bad things economically are and how we make it better for ourselves as a loving community. And thank you again for watching another Afternoons LA today. I'll see you tonight on Evenings LA in prime time at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 3 things to do right now. Go into this video and subscribe. Number 2, hit that little bell and make sure notifications are set to all on. And number 3, become a member. Go into this video, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. And tonight we'll see how much the Dow Jones does really fall by the end of the day. It could be more severe. We'll see more reactions to Jay Powell's announcements from yesterday. We got a big show tonight on Evenings LA. I look forward to seeing you then. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless, and see you on Evenings LA.